Live now.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I posted a comment inviting or letting everybody know to answer your invite.
Yeah. I'm going to add the link to my event so that people know to go to that one.
That'll work.
Otherwise, they won't know to know which one to watch.
Right. And we might do circle backs or something if people request, or if people haven't circled you, they'll have to. Hi, Aaron. Oops.
Yes.
Were you waiting on Jeremy or?
No.
You're not.
You can go ahead if you want, Nick.
Again, I'm probably only going to be here for a little bit. I would like to see somebody try the whole hydraulic version of an air muscle thing. Test that if nothing else, and potentially doing transradial hands powered off of those. There is, I guess, a lab here at Cornell that's working with those muscles, but they're doing them on a DARPA humanoid robot that's tethered and has a hydraulic power supply from elsewhere. So it's probably not quite the right kind of muscle for a portable body-powered thing. Adam Arabian says that you lose that it's very tiring to use a shoulder-powered hydraulic. I don't actually know what kind of losses there are in a hydraulic system, but I was under the impression they were like not that bad, like 20% or something like that.
Right.
Right? You say?
I've heard similar numbers.
Yeah, so I can't imagine that's really worse than bike cable. So if we're considering shoulder-powered stuff at all, I'd really like to see us try hydraulic stuff. And just to be clear, I'm talking about air muscle flexi hand. Essentially, this video titled "Commercial Arm," but with water in the muscles instead of
Okay.
air, because air just sucks to try and supply in pretty much any environment.
Right. Hydraulics are often
Yeah.
much more reliable than pneumatics. It's easier to keep them sealed too.
Yep. And if we use water as the fluid, which is like a marginal loss versus oil, it's not really a big deal if they leak.
Right. Just have to have a reservoir handy.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you'll notice if you're leaking water and you can patch it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there can be evaporative leaks as well that don't drain a lot into your onto your sleeve or onto your clothing or whatever. But
Yeah, I guess.
mostly you'll be able to spot it. The point is that if there's a way to refill a reservoir quick and easy, then it becomes a observable thing rather than a a problem. So I was enjoying all the videos of Debbie's blinky hands.
Uh-huh.
I was hoping that the Fox video that they linked to today would have more of their footage of that hand.
Yeah, Aaron.
What about Aaron?
Oh. um. Trouble, you said something about that Fox video. Is that what
Yeah, Laird posted a link to a video from uh, the Orlando Maker Faire with Fox News talking to some of the people who were there, and one of the guys was, or one of the pairs of people that were there were showing a motorized little go-kart, and the other one was was Laird and his a couple of his hands, and it was a news show in Orlando on Fox, and it was kind of fun watching him show how the hands work, and the news broadcaster lady was pretty impressed with the hands, watching how it all worked. It was that moment that you often see when people realize, oh, that's so simple, and that light going on was a cool thing to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna be taking that light up hand to crowd companies in New York City for October, talking to all the big giant companies about how Verizon helped us out and how great that was and how big giant companies should help us out more often.
Okay. Welcome back, Aaron. Okay, so Lydia's internet is down. She just asked if I'm seeing her.
Nope.
Oh, you're back. Yeah, I was able to see your post. It dinged.
Okay, I think I'm back.
You are. Yeah, I was saying that the news lady was playing with was watching Laird moving the hand and realized how all the strings caused the fingers to curl up and straighten out again, and you can see that aha moment going off, the light bulb going off over her head. That was kind of fun to see.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you had. I'm just trying to fill dead air.
Yep. I'd like to see hydraulics done. Besides that, I should probably get back to my CS homework. I haven't been staying in the loop enough on Enable stuff to be interesting about the like new ideas.
Funny how school does that.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Not so much school, but general stuff. Anyways, nice talking to everybody. See ya.
Okay. All right, I'll talk to you later, Nick.
Yeah, thanks for taking a minute.
There's also, there was also some brief. Where is that link? I always have difficulty finding. I've got the two instances of the post about the eNable post. The one where I create the Hangout on air and only invite a couple people, and then the when I share it with the eNable group. And some of the comments, when people comment on it, end up in the eNable group, and others end up in my original posting. And so I just have to look through both of them until I find the conversation. Alvaro Rodriguez said he wasn't going to be able to attend this Hangout, but he would have liked to, but it was a 3 a.m. local time, which I guess brings us back to it sounds like we've got some people in Europe who are interested in doing alternate time Hangouts, so I'm hoping to encourage them to do that so that we can have some of their discussions too, because I like to hear what other people are thinking.
Yeah,
more voices makes for more interesting ideas and more interesting discussions. He said he'd like to throw in the idea of designing a standard circuit plus shielding for EMG and MMG to build by everyone who feels like it, with those devices to record the data of a standard exercise done by you and the people who happen to pass nearby, That way you could have a lot of open source data to analyze and maybe even train a neural net. Standard exercise means to be able to relate to a single finger or even phalanx movement. It'd be awesome to start here to enable what could be first worldwide free open source scientific research, which is an interesting discussion, but I'm not sure. When we do the EMG stuff, or the myoelectric, there's not a lot of neural network interfacing. It's more about placing the sensors in the right locations to pick up the electricity, the signal from the muscles, and I'm not sure how much data could be picked up from that.
Adam, Aaron, are you trying to say anything? Oh, I guess not.
Yeah, let's see.
Am I okay? Can you guys hear me? Because I've been
Yes.
trying to figure out. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you now.
For some reason, it's only picking up the printer webcam, not the webcam that's on my laptop.
Oh.
Okay. Well, hello
Sure.
guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't get the camera to work, which sucks. 'Cause I had cool things to show.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. One important thing as far as the myoelectric hand, which is nice that one big thing is keeping the cost down. So
Yeah.
if we try tapping into things like that, we're trying to move fingers at this point. Any way we can at a low cost. So
Right. Yeah. The actual pickups aren't very expensive, and like Adafruit and a couple of the other sites, the SparkFun site and a few of the other sites that sell that one EMG kit, show ways of putting like a sleeve, like a workout sleeve that they sewed electrodes into, so that they could always place the electrodes at the right spots on the arm when they put the sleeve on. And I thought that was an interesting method for picking up the signal.
Mhm.
I'm curious how hard it would be to differentiate between the different finger muscle movements. I wonder.
That's one of the biggest questions people ask at the Maker Faire. How do we move different fingers?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody has a hand like mine with partial fingers, then it could be just switches to activate motion, and solving that problem for me is probably a lot easier than it is for a lot of people. A lot of people that don't have fingers do have all the tendons to control them and all the muscles attached to them. If they, especially as children, if they get the chances to move those muscles, they can teach their brain to do it a lot more easily. So I would be interested. One of the questions I guess I have with standard methods of picking up signal from forearm muscles for controlling fingers, I'm wondering if we could build a grid array of electrodes and then figure out a way to, I don't know, pinpoint where on the arm you get better signal for which finger, see how much crosstalk we see, and see if we can isolate which muscle is being moved a little bit more.
Yeah, it's all a lot more technical stuff than I know about. That's for sure. I just made Wolverine claws.
I like that approach. One of the things about getting these hands into the hands of children is so that they are learning how to use those muscles at a young age, learning how to make use of their hands, learning how to grip, so that they are more prepared later on in life when they start having a standard hand size to be able to move into more expensive prosthetic and be good at controlling it. And giving toy-like features to the hands, I think, helps with that. It gives them something else, something more entertaining to do with it. I'd like to see those. I'd like to see those claws printed with Filaflex too, so that I mean they look pretty rounded. They don't look like they would actually hurt, but you know, hard ABS plastic could bruise if a kid played rough with them.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do Velcro on, and
Okay.
you know, I've seen that as a concern on a couple of couple people have posted. The Velcro is actually they Velcro on very loosely. If you wiggle your hand around, they actually kind of flop around a little bit, and they get knocked off very easily. So I did try to keep safety, you know, kind of right there.
Right.
Safety came first. The cool factor was a very close second.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely and I have some Filaflex sitting here, so I might practice with that and just see if it's too flexible or not.
Yeah. So you said something about the Velcro is loose. Is there enough padding in there?
Well, the Velcro, I'm talking about the claws. The Velcro, the claws just stick on the outside of the hand.
Okay. Sorry,
So, yeah.
you said something about hand flopping around, and I thought that you were talking about inside the gauntlet.
Yeah, I wish I had a camera. No, when you stick the claws onto the hand, you know, it's this cyborg beast, and they just stick on top of the palm. They're stiff enough, but you know, if you wiggle your hand, they do kind of they come off really, really easy. They're real safe. I mean, a toothbrush is more dangerous, and I told somebody on another forum, chopsticks are just as dangerous as these are.
Right.
You know, and it does take good parents to make sure they don't go to school and things like that. But this is just, I did it as a promotional piece. You know, I don't plan on putting claws on every child out there. But,
although I imagine that'll be a popular feature.
It's been crazy, yeah. It's all over the world right now.
I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying watching the video and the links spreading around all of my social streams. It's always fun when somebody posts something new into the eNable group, watching the same information pop up from other sources. It always interests me when like a link to one of our hand videos shows up on Laughing Squid or Adafruit or there's quite a few different link promulgation sites that we see these things on.
Yeah. Oh, I made the Wolverine hand made VegasHotels.com. So, you would think you would ever see, you know, Enable. That's what Jen Owen said. She's the one that sent it to me. So it's like, hey, we're on a Hotels in Vegas website. That's cool. And the mistranslated ones are the best from France and Asia.
Right.
Those are a lot of fun. For children with blank fingers, and Wolverine is the superhero with the scratches. I saw that one. It's cute, you know.
The retranslating back.
Yeah.
Used to be games we would play with. This was way back in the day. This was pre-Google Translate. This was like when we used Babelfish on. I can't remember the name of the search engine that used to host it, but there used to be these games you would play where you would take a a phrase and then translate it back and forth between two languages until it stabilized, and then figure out if that meant anything similar to what it originally had meant.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. One, it
Yeah.
bounces back once, and it's something entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, computerized translation is entertaining. That's one of the things I like about the Google Translate is that you can pick the words with a little more nuance, because when you're creating the translation, you can look at the word that it translated it to and look at a list of synonyms for that word, so you can see if it, what factor of or what attribute of the word that you chose chose to translate, which definition or which meaning.
Yeah, I hear you. Like they say, like Eskimos have 100 words for snow.
Yeah.
Try translating that one. But yeah, I wish the camera was running because I'm just about finished with the next build, which it's definitely it's not geared so much as children, but it's a for kind of like a wounded warrior. That's what the news got wrong too. Everybody kept saying I'm working with the wounded warrior. I never said that. But I am designing one, with a more soldier theme, but it's more of an adult. I mean, it's basically camouflage colors and a couple extra features.
Yeah.
But I really wish this camera was working because I got it set up and I was going to show some of the cool things. But it's not done, so I guess it's kind of working in my favor that I'll still save it. But the next ones are all geared towards children. The one I'm going to be building next, brightly colored, all multicolors, and on the very the tops of the fingers, the sides of the palm, and the top of the thumb, the sides of the gauntlet, I'm putting I'm taking the very top part of Lego bricks and putting them all on the fingers and on the gauntlet, because at the Maker Fairs, children, there's two. I asked, what's the first thing you would build if you had a printer? That was my favorite question to ask, and Minecraft was an absolute #1 answer. Number two was Legos. So it got me thinking, children and I did too. I loved Legos growing up. So not only can you play with Legos, and I'm gonna add into the palm there's plenty of files on Thingiverse that are kind of like Lego separating things. They look almost like bottle openers, but they're able to help you pull Lego bricks apart. So I'm gonna incorporate that into the thumb, but also you'll be able to stick Lego bricks on the fingers and on the palm, and you can not only just play with Legos, but you can almost be a Lego. I mean, I have a 9-year-old son, and he wants one. I'm doing one right now, definitely geared towards adults. It's a military theme for wounded soldiers. But after that, it's all about the kids and Batman and everything like that.
Do you have a Batman design yet?
No, I don't. It should be fairly easy, the fins. I'm going to incorporate some different silvers, the bat symbol on top of the tensioner, in silver, and some different things like that. And then I'm going to do the fins in carbon fiber, but they're also just going to Velcro on there. Like the Wolverine claws did. They're still removable. I still want to keep the hands functional.
Whoa.
Yeah, my Android phone sounds like a droid.
Oh. So, Aaron, do you want to hear my initial ideas for a Wonder Woman hand?
Absolutely, yeah, because I looked in Wonder Woman initially, and I mean, she doesn't wear gloves. She has the bracelets. I watched her as a child. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 33, so
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
you know, that was, I always figured that'd be a tough one.
Well, I don't know. I'll tell you what I was thinking. So it would be. I'm not exactly sure what the finger color should be yet, but I'm just thinking, like for her crown, it's gold, but you can do yellow also. And so you could do like a yellow hand and a red star on the palm area, and then maybe the fingers could be blue with the white stars.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, that'd be super easy to do.
Yeah, and there actually is a Wonder Woman outfit that is more like ancient Roman warriors. So her outfit is mostly like leather, and then she actually has sort of a skirt that's kind of made out of pieces of leather, kind of like a Roman warrior's outfit. So that was what I was thinking for the gauntlet would be the leather pieces, and then they'd be blue with white stars on them. So I'm not real sure what the fingers should be, but that's just kind of a first brainstorm.
Man, it's too bad they don't have like a gold Velcro strap, because I mean, she had those bracelets, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you can spray paint things.
Yeah.
And also, Peter Binkley made his Talon hand for his son. He actually used leather straps and D-rings instead of Velcro.
Okay.
So that could end up getting the leather in there. But you can also spray paint things if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, like I mentioned to you before, it's tough with the female superheroes, you know, because they're all it's Batgirl and Supergirl, you know, they're themed.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are just black suits. Catwoman.
Back to the claws, you got Catwoman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's just some little claws on the end would be really easy.
But also, there actually are a fair amount of female superheroes in their own right, and I just haven't sent you the list yet.
Yeah, it's a growing list.
Yeah. So just some examples are Starfire from Teen Titans, Raven also from Teen Titans, and then the Phoenix, of course, from X-Men.
X-Men, oh yeah.
In the comic book, the Phoenix's outfit is much more interesting than in the movie. It's got basically a phoenix blazed on the front of it, kind of, and she has sort of she has like boots, but then also around the suit that she wears, she also has sort of a scarf that she wears around it. So that's some extra stuff. And then Starfire actually has bright green eyes with no eyelets on them, so that bright green could be incorporated in there somehow. And then also she has a like some kind of a gemstone on, like a big gemstone in the middle of her chest too. So that could be, I was thinking just like the Iron Man stuff has that thing on the palm, you could have her gemstone on the back of the hand.
Yeah, the arc reactor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alan Hong asks, has the Iron Man hand been done yet? Yes, in one form or another, but there's always possibilities of creating a different style of Iron Man armor.
Yeah. The Bubba in Hawaii has an Iron Man hand, and there's some video of him. If you go back and look back in the old footage.
Yeah, John P. is the one who made that one.
Yeah, that one's been all over the internet too. It's wonderful.
That one's been getting a lot of news programming airplay too.
So yeah, I guess if anybody else knows of a female superhero who's not just so-and-so woman or so-and-so girl, who's actually, their own superhero, please feel free to post that in our community.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, I was just diehard comic books growing up, and there's so many, but they are. The problem is they're so. It's just like almost a chauvinist world, male chauvinist world when it comes to the female superheroes. Like they're just little tight suits,
Yeah.
and black gloves or all red gloves. We have Elektra, we have, you know,
Yeah.
there's so many. I'm not really trying. I mean, the superhero hands are gonna be so much fun, but I really am trying to do some extra just themes, and it's so easy with just the color scheme too. I mean, the next couple hands that I'm making to send for the conference, we're sending them to Baltimore, so I'm gonna do some purple and gold um, hands for the Baltimore Raven.
Very cool.
Just, some more simple things. Um, but, yeah, I hope people like, the one I'm building geared towards the soldiers. Added some definitely useful features to it, but I just wish the camera was working. It's a lot harder to explain.
Mm. Hi, John.
Hey, Lydia, could you also resend the invite to Eric Griffin?
Yeah. He may not be available today.
Yeah, he posted on mine that he wasn't receiving the links.
Yeah. Well, I did send it to him, so I don't know. I'm sending it again.
Okay. Yeah,
I may have sent. Somebody may have sent it to the wrong Eric.
that's possible.
Because there's more than one Eric Griffin, even.
Yeah. Yeah, his is one of the. His is a without a profile photo, so
Yeah.
it's a blue head.
Yeah. Nope, that's the one I picked.
Yep.
Hi, John.
Hello, hello.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I've been working, since we're talking about superheroes, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I've been working on a turtle hand.
Oh, cool.
I like it.
Let's see here. I don't know if I can share it. Can I
Well,
share my screen? Let's see here.
well, you're actually not even showing up right now except for your profile photo. So
You might be able to share your screen even if you don't have a webcam.
Oh yeah. Do you know how to share your screen, John?
I think I'm doing that. Let's see here. Let me do that. Entire screen. That's going to be weird. All right.
Yeah, you're.
You
There
see it
you are.
yet?
Yeah. Yep. That's definitely Turtle Knuckles.
You have the little sewer cap on the top there.
Oh,
You got
fun.
the turtles.
I love it. That's awesome.
And what I'm looking at doing is on the fingers, I'll have a piece of pizza for each turtle. And so when they move their fingers, they can feed their turtles.
Oh, that's funny. That is really
yeah.
smart.
If you can, print it in green, and then you can paint each of their headbands with nail polish.
Like
to
yellow?
Get the appropriate.
Oh yeah, different colors.
Yeah, each of the.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be painted. Trust me, it's gonna be painted.
Yeah. And silver nail polish is a really useful paint if you're using ABS to print these. Nail polish seems to stick really, really well.
Yeah.
It bonds to it. Probably for the same reason that acetone smooths it.
So less with PLA?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, say again?
I said, so it's less with PLA than nail polish?
Yeah, PLA doesn't seem to dissolve in acetone the same way that ABS does. So you can't use acetone vapor baths to smooth PLA, and you can't use acetone to turn the surface into a glue to bond the rubber fingertips to, and you can't. I imagine that the nail polish will stick okay to PLA, but I don't think it will set into the plastic the way it does with ABS. Debbie's done a lot of research. Debbie Loom, I think I'm mispronouncing her last name, but she's done a lot of research with nail polish on ABS plastic and reports some pretty interesting results that had Peregrine pretty excited.
Okay, yeah. Her and I were talking just the other day about how to do an arc reactor on the palm for an Iron Man themed hand.
With the Nixie pixel ring from or the pixel ring from Adafruit.
Yeah, yeah, and doing like an all-in-one unit that can kind of just Velcro on. That's what I was picturing, is something that could Velcro onto the bottom of the Velcro strap. So basically, it'd be removable, and it would still light up, but it'd be all enclosed, and just kind of be able to just stick right on the Velcro strap. That's something I'm hoping for.
Sounds pretty cool.
Her light up hand, I didn't get a good view, and I read briefly, but I was in the middle of something else when I did her explaining it. But how does she have the wiring going through the fingers to the tips for the light up on the fingertips? Is it just threaded through the tendon?
Yeah, I think she has them running right now, because she was talking about working on an enclosure so she wouldn't have to run the wires. So
right.
I'm pretty sure she's just kind of running the wires through the existing hole.
Yeah, one could easily go into like Fusion 360 or something and create more than one
whole path.
Yeah.
Maybe something on the center of the fingers, perhaps. Although cleaning it out might be difficult.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a couple of questions from Tony Lau.
Okay.
So first one is, how does one help in the research and development of new hands? He apparently wants to get involved in that.
Well, yeah, basically jump ahead with, if you've got something you want to experiment with, do it. If you need models, we can probably ask about it in the forum or in the community, and we can probably share models with you if you want to do redesign of the hands. If you want to experiment with the other things, like with the EMG or the myoelectric sensor and powering, keep your eyes open for the EMG R&D hangouts that Jeremy hosts, Jeremy and Lydia host, and jump on. There's always something that you can jump in and experiment with. And there were some comments from Nick at the beginning of this interview about using similar to the pneumatic muscles that we've seen, where when you squeeze it, the balloon shortens when it expands because of the mesh around it, and that can be used to pull the fingers. And he was suggesting that he'd like somebody to play with that using hydraulic or liquid instead of air balloons, so that it's easier to repair and easier to keep working. Those are some things that would be fun to play with, but yeah, if you want if he wants, he could jump onto the into the hangout if you want to invite him, and we can
Yeah.
ask or he can ask questions one-on-one if he wants to join.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put out my take on answering the question as well. So
Please do.
another thing about working with our group is it's a very grassroots-oriented group, and so people just basically start designing things on their own, or they start talking to people in the group and get together with other people, other members, and then they just start designing things together, and then they post what they're doing. And so that's basically how we do the research and development in our group. And yes, and I agree with everything that Trouble said. And yes, anytime you want to be part of this research and development actual call, all you have to do is say, please invite. And if there's room, if there are enough spaces, we will invite you.
You know, I just had a thought here around this question about, you know, how do you get involved with development and stuff like that. And I guess the conference is superheroes. Am I wrong, or is this we've been talking about superheroes a little bit?
We have been, but we tended to go with a pretty open. We tend to go without an agenda. We tend to be open to any questions anybody has about anything.
Well,
But yeah, I had mentioned in the invite that that I was enjoying the superheroes and other decorative add-ons to the hands to make them more entertaining for children, so that they're more likely to use them.
right, and so it seems our audience right now is little kids, and I'm working on a turtle hands for a 5-year-old, and I guess what I'm saying is, if that turns out well, is that something that the community would like, a copy of?
Yeah, if you have models for the hands, like you're doing your turtle hand,
Mm-hmm.
if when you have the model working and when you've got the hand printable and usable, please do share those models back. I think we've got places to put them. Laird would know, and Jeremy would know, and probably John Schultz would know too.
Right. I mean, I guess you can put them on Thingiverse and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
Right, that too.
we can have a list though on the website of maybe like a superhero section, and if there's
Right.
several people that have done superhero themed hands, then we could just
Right.
oh well, hey, well, I want a firestorm hand, boom, right here.
yeah,
Yeah. Another thing that I'd like to see, a lot of people have done careful color matching for the plastics they're printing the hands with to match the outfits of the superheroes. It'd be nice to have a list of which plastics you purchased from where when you design a hand for Iron Man or for Wolverine or for whoever, which filaments you used.
When I did the Iron Man hand for Bubba, I just got red and gold. I didn't check the color numbers.
Right.
But, perception is reality, I guess.
True.
yeah.
And bright colors work out pretty well.
Yeah.
So, John and everybody else, just so you know, in the future, the idea of having that section is fine, but the deal is that the only designs that end up on our website are ones that have been tested out by more than one person in actual use. So that's why we don't have the Flexi hand on there yet, because we don't have enough people who have tested it out yet.
Okay, so that's good to know.
Yeah, so that's the requirement for designs being on our website.
Okay. Well, maybe that would be a thing, I mean, if that's the requirement, then and we want to do superhero things, then how do we get it to pass the requirement?
Well, what you do is you, when you get a chance to be paired up with somebody, then you, if they decide they want to have one of those types of designs, then you make one for them. So basically, I guess what it would be a matter of is if somebody's been paired up with someone and they haven't designed their own superhero hand, like in your case, then they can say, we would like to test out one of the superhero hands. Could somebody please send us the design for it?
Okay.
So yeah, so basically what you would do with your turtle hand is you would have it on just in the community as a post saying this is available if anybody wants to test it out.
Okay.
And then
if we can get access to the models, there's a lot of people who will print them out just to play with and abuse on their own.
right, I'm talking about actual recipients testing, not just
I'm thinking Peregrine.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm thinking of Peregrine.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'm just saying that that's the deal.
Yeah. Alan Hong just asked, do we have a group of testers in the community?
Not officially yet.
Yeah, we have people who do tests. A lot of the college labs are doing testing to try to just to see what kind of damage they can do to it and how well it handles damage. Like the sandblasting that was done, was that at Creighton or was that?
I thought Frankie Flood's group did that.
Okay, that would make sense.
Wait. We have people that actually test all, hands, right?
Well, the kind of testing that Trouble's talking about is like destructive testing and damage testing. I'm talking about actual recipients who need these hands wearing them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Do we actually have a recipient that tests hands out?
Well, not on a very exact basis. Basically, it's a matter of Peregrine's basically the only person who's really given us much testing feedback. We would actually like to have more recipients who would like to be testers, but we just haven't gotten a chance to, I guess, put that out there yet.
That's pretty cool.
Right.
You know, that would be a cool job to have. Can you imagine the guy that would, or a woman that would be involved in testing all the superhero hands? I mean, let's assume it's a full-grown person here, and they walk in, you know, with you know, an Iron Man hand with a little thing on the bottom, and or the turtle hand. That'd be funny. I'd like that.
I'd volunteer for that job. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. Yeah.
I do want
Wolverine hand, sure. Yeah.
Apologize for Tony. I see. I did misspeak and say Iron Man has an arc reactor on his hands. You're right. It's on his chest, and I apologize for that.
He has the ring that looks similar.
Yeah, the little hand cannon. I guess I'm not familiar with the proper term. But.
Yeah. So I guess if he has a hand cannon, that'd be a fun thing to put on your hand. I was thinking when you were talking about arc reactor on the hand, I thought that was just for decoration, just like I was going to put a star on the red star on the Wonder Woman hand. She doesn't have a star on her hand; she has it on her crown. So that's what I thought was going on.
Yeah, well, on his palm, he you know, it lights up. He can shoot from his palm.
The thrusters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the thrusters for flying, and so
yeah.
that's where the lights would come in, and the LEDs, and you know, adults can pick it apart, but children know exactly what it is when they see it. That's the important part.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So people who have been testing things. Skip Stein, I think, has been wearing a hand external, using his fingers to operate it, like most kids would use their wrist to operate it. And he's been testing a lot of the different thumb designs and things like that, just seeing how well it actually works in practice for him. So he's one example of somebody who's doing the kind of testing that you were mentioning earlier.
Again, though, he's not an actual recipient, though.
Right, agreed. And probably most of our testing has been through Peregrine because he uses them pretty heavily. He goes and does things like clearing brush with it on,
Yeah.
or
Lifting boxes.
Yeah, lifting boxes and stacking things, and basically he uses them pretty heavily. So it's interesting to get feedback from him, which is why Ivan and Jen are often doing printouts for him to test different things.
You know, it sounds like he's really busy with his hands. I mean, how hard would it be to make a real hand cannon?
like an air cannon in the hand?
No, I mean the real thing. You know, how hard is that? I mean, you know, in boxes, whatnot. This is my way. Boom.
Yeah, you could put a Nerf thing on top of a hand.
Oh, no, I want real. I want real stuff.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I think you might like my the military version that I'm building. You'll have to take a picture. But it does not have a cannon on it, and I'm not trying to. I am absolutely not trying to weaponize Enable.
Look, don't get me started. I live in Grovetown, Georgia, which is right outside Fort Gordon. Okay, I go to I go to yard sales, and somebody's trying to sell you a rocket launcher.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, where did that come from? Oh, it's just left over after I got home from work one day. Okay.
Wow.
Look, I'm not kidding. I was on Facebook, and there's like this local little yard sale thing. I kid you not, they were selling some. It's like, oh, but the tops are welded on. Yeah, that's gonna stop somebody. The tops are welded on. Great. You know how easy those are to unweld.
Yeah.
We have weight issues for 6-year-old children. That might be hard to lift.
Yeah, weight issues.
Oh man.
Kids.
The Velcro straps probably couldn't withstand the blast of the cannon.
Yeah. Imagine putting one of those on the hands. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so that's why I was thinking like, what?
I was going to say, somebody did calculation of how much force was required for the thrusters on Iron Man's suit, and the numbers are kind of ridiculous, given how much fuel he's actually carrying. The efficiency of those things is clearly fictional.
And now somebody's going to try to figure out how to actually do it, though, so that it is more efficient.
Oh, we're getting there every day, right? They have external exoskeletons that they're designing for the military.
Yep.
So, you know, I mean, it's today. It's happening. It's already happening.
Right.
Yeah, I was trying to look up some of the nautical force things. This past 4th of July, I started putting together a quadricopter project that can actually fly up and launch bottle rockets off of it. And I started looking at how big I could go. You know, like, okay, you know, can you actually shoot like a Roman candle off a quadricopter? But you know, pretty much you hit about 20 nautical miles an hour, and that copter is going to go flying into a tree.
I like the idea of the quadcopter, but you know, let's just increase that by like 100% there, and then we could just fly in it ourselves.
Yeah, there you go.
Somebody did an array of quadcopters to see if they could lift a person off the ground and how far.
They didn't really. Okay, how many did they take?
Was that at Burning Man?
This was in Spain actually. I'll see if I can find the old video of it, but
we need that. We need that video.
Yeah, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. They lifted this girl way up in the air and then lowered her down again.
They did. How much was this, a little girl or what?
Full-grown woman, probably 110, 120.
Okay, so she didn't weigh a whole lot. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but
oh my goodness, she was.
But it was 4 quadcopters, and she had 2 handles, one for each hand, and each handle had 2 quadcopters going in opposite directions, to lift her.
Wow.
And it was fine, less the wind was blowing, and then there was a little bit of worry.
How high did they
They
get
were
her
all
up?
controls to lift her. They got her like 40 feet in the air before they brought her back down.
That's
But the
insane.
batteries died.
Yeah, these were diesel-powered quadcopters, I think.
Still, she's 40 feet up in the air. Being
Yeah,
held up in the air by a quadcopter.
yeah, it was pretty
Great.
ridiculous. Let me see if I can find any of that.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? The hand, just for fun, we could figure out some way to mount a what are those things called? Remote control on the top of the hand or something, so you could control a quadcopter.
Yeah, the military version that I have, I think is going to be really useful because it's got 3 accessory rails on it, which are like a Picatinny system.
Oh, wow.
But you can 3D print pretty much mounts for anything to put on there. Cell phone mount, flashlight. The one on the wrist I have to assist with cooking. You could actually mount a knife. I mean, try slicing a tomato with only one hand.
Yeah.
You know.
There are a couple people working on something like that, of a cooking hand for C.J. Landry's son.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you search our community for C.J. Landry, or Food for Thought is something I keep putting on a lot of things having to do with design ideas for it. So if you search those things in our community, you'll be able to see some of the conversations we've had about it.
Oh wow! Yeah, this one. I mean,
Here's
you
one
can
of the
mount-
quadcopters.
A cool idea just popped in my head. Okay, so here's a cool idea, right?
Okay?
You mentioned the whole remote control thing, and I was thinking, well, telephones do that now,
Yeah?
and everybody loves the iPhone. But how about an iPhone cradle on your hand?
Yeah, I think that's what
Oh, yeah.
Aaron's talking about.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I've often thought that
Yeah,
having
this one actually mounts because we used the Velcro straps. I got a $2 cell phone case, and I put a small piece of soft Velcro on the back of it. The cell phone sticks right into the palm using the Velcro strap.
Oh, in the palm itself. I was thinking on the top, actually. Like a little,
yeah.
a little sliding top on the top thing. You just kind of look at the top of your palm there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it would be easy to just, I guess, Aaron, did you say that you were putting like some mounting rails on the back of your military hand?
Yeah, it's got 3 of them. I wish I could show you guys a picture, man, this camera. But yeah, it's got a spot to mount a cell phone, to mount a flashlight, and then like a utility knife, like
Oh, we need to see
not a
that.
sharp, not a pointed one, but
Yeah.
like a chisel one that has a hook to cut like fishing line and string and
Oh, very cool.
What? Can you share your screen? Do you have it on your computer somewhere?
yeah, I have. Let me try finding it.
Trouble, is that you that keeps getting chat notifications?
it's probably going to all of us because I put it into the Google Hangouts.
There it is. Okay, sorry, I just didn't see it.
Yeah. So those are two links. One of them showing somebody that's trying to build a heavy lift quadcopter, and the other one is the video I was talking about with. They're saying on this one 2 quadcopters lifting a woman, but I've seen it with like 4.
Okay. Huh. Alan, I'm sorry. Alan, I'm sorry that we weren't able to get you into this call this time, but we'll try to do that next time. We'll try to figure out why you didn't get that notification.
Wait, there's video.
Huh?
Oh, we
Yeah,
got video from Aaron.
I don't know how the audio is. I took it off my printer, but
Oh, I hear you fine.
Yeah, you sound fine.
yeah, I did have the the Wolverine hand. Definitely a fan of that one. And as you can see, they're real soft. They come right off. They're not on there very strong at all.
Okay.
I don't know how well that shows.
Yeah. You might want to scoot back a little bit if you can.
And move
Yeah, that's
slowly.
But as far as the rails on this one, it's hard to see. I don't know if you can see where they are. There's an accessory rail.
Oh,
Right
wow.
here.
Okay.
On the side of
And
the
two up here. And the rails are, it's very easy to print a mount for something to just fit right on there.
Yeah, so it would just slide right on. Like here's the rail, and you just go like this. Like that.
Yeah, you can mount like a flashlight. I don't have a flashlight mount. It's actually a laser off a BB gun. But you can mount a flashlight there, so you have a free hand. You don't have to hold on to a flashlight. You can work on your car, hold your flashlight.
Yeah.
And then this mount here is a utility knife, and it clips right on there.
Oh, like an X-Acto knife?
No, like an actual utility knife.
Oh.
Again, it's geared for adults, so it's a tough one, but it's being able to cut a steak or being able to cut.
Lift it a little higher because it's being blocked by the video for everybody else.
I can see it.
Okay, cool.
And it's amazingly solid. And this little knife, it's a very tiny one. They're like $13, and it has an accessory hook, or it has like a hook to cut fishing line or cable. It's not pointed. It's geared. It has. It's when thinking of the utility purpose, being able to hold a knife firmly on your second hand and hold whatever you're cutting. It's something I think is going to be.
Right.
It's important for a lot of people, and this is for adults, of course. Yeah. But it's just the mount itself. Besides a knife, just using a mount like this, it's a Picatinny system.
Mm-hmm.
It's unlimited what you can mount to it, because all you have to do is print the part that clamps on. So we're talking spoons, pencils, crayons. You can add these to the children's hands. So.
I love that idea, and I think that it's something that can be easily incorporated into the Raptor, to tell you the truth.
Sure.
You're already doing it, and then maybe even have printable accessories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That goes right into the whole. Peregrine's always talking about all the add-ons that he wants to have on his hand. This meets that need nicely.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe if you're up to it, Aaron, maybe Peregrine would like to test out your hand. Would you like to make or send one to him, maybe?
That would actually be awesome. Yeah. Once I get this one done, I know I have black and blues too. I know that's what he likes, and
yeah.
Well, he likes all kinds of colors, I would think.
We should get a hold of him and ask him if he wants to play with it. I bet he will.
Yeah, I love the idea. I mean, you're making their non-hand something that's even more efficient than a regular hand to some degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the whole Meccan idea when Peregrine chose the term Meccan to describe his hands, the whole idea that it's mechanically enhanced, which he had a lot of emphasis on the enhanced, because it's not just making his hand better than it was. He wanted to make his hand better than a hand.
Mm-hmm.
And
right, and let's be honest. I mean, even though it's it's a plastic hand, and I looked at some of the reviews that people had for the Enable hands, and it was like 48% said that, it significantly improved their lives and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's say, based on those numbers, that it's 48% as good as a real hand. Okay, great. But if we got some add-on components, we just pop in a steak knife or a fork or whatever, right?
Right.
Well, now we can bump those numbers up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, good job.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I
it,
definitely.
it opens up a lot, and I mean,
Yeah.
when I do finally get it done, I really have to put a disclaimer out. Sure, okay, I put claws on the last one, and now I'm putting a knife on this one. It's like, I'm not trying to, it's utility. It's fishing.
Yeah.
It's cutting a steak. It's opening a box. And being able to hold the box with your other hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's why this knife, they do make a pointed one, but I didn't want that one. I wanted. It's a little $13 knife, and it has the rails built right into the handle,
Mm-hmm.
so it does
Yeah.
mount right onto the palm. And but besides that, mounting anything on here, flashlight or
Put a glasses case on them.
Yeah.
there probably needs to be a universal clamp made that you can kind of attach to spoons and forks and stuff like that, and then you can just make a couple universal clamps and then just use those. But
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah, I like this. This is good. A couple people was like, hey, why don't you make the hand where you hit a button and a little Nerf thing pops up and stuff like that? And that's all a good idea, but the sad thing is we're making these hands, a lot of them for children, and they're going to go to school, and last thing you want to see happen is a teacher take away their hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Your hand looks like a gun. I'm going to have to take away your hand. Go to the principal's office for shooting Sally with a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
But
But something
asked if
take-
Iron Man
take
hand
one
has
off.
already been done.
Pretty good.
Oh, you were going through all the old questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, and I keep trying to click done, and I don't know. I'm just derping. Don't mind me.
No worries. I thought the same question had popped up again, so I think we already answered that one, and then it went away. Quickly. So the question about has an Iron Man hand been done, and I was going to say yes again. But
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm just derping around. Sorry.
that's right.
I'm just trying to make sure that all the questions actually have been answered.
Yeah.
I keep getting these little things pop in my head because this is just such a great thing.
Well,
Okay.
that's what this R&D meeting is for. That's why it's open-ended.
All right,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to throw out more things. Okay, so yes, we need a universal clamp for the side. Okay, but in addition, we're also superheroes and kids and making it more fun, and also at the same time making it where they can take it to school. Okay, when they're not at school and they're home and they want to play with their hands, have little toys that attach to it that make it more superhero-ish, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Leave your utility belt at home, Batman.
That's right. And the Velcro works, sure, but the universal thing that you use for knives, forks. Oh wait, toys.
Yeah.
Shoot the Nerf bullet or something like that, and just pop it onto the side of the hand, and you can do superhero. Because we're talking about young kids, 5 years old. They're going to eat this up, eat it up.
You designed your rail to match that the bracket that's on the knife, right, Aaron?
That one, the two on the gauntlet are standard pick rails. So and there's tons of files on Thingiverse, so you can download just the mount for it, and you can just stick it on anything, or you can design your own. This knife in particular, it was too loose, so I adjusted it so that will fit just for that knife. But you can put for a child's hand, you could put the standard rail on there, and it would take 20 minutes to design a mount for pretty much anything, a marker or.
You know what I'd like to do is like on the hand that I'm doing now for the turtle hand, put that rail system on it, and maybe play around with some ideas with some toys and stuff like that.
Not a bad idea. You said it's a standardized a rail. Do you think you have, or do you have a link to like something on Thingiverse that uses that rail size?
Yeah, there's a lot. If you just go on, it's called Picatinny.
Well, what we're hoping is that you would actually find those links for us and link them to us.
Oh, how do I? Let's see. How do I do that?
There should be another Hangout window that our links have been going into when we've been sharing the links on the underneath. So there's another Hangout window that should have the links. And if you have a URL, you can copy and paste it into that Hangout window, and we'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's also
So
the chat on the side if you have the sidebar chat turned on.
yeah.
Okay. Yep. There's the chat. So here it is, right here.
Okay. There we go.
Should I copy those links I sent earlier with the of the RC helicopters into the
Sure.
sidebar chat?
Actually, I can't actually copy the sidebar chat because I'm on a stupid Chromebook. So
Agreed.
whatever you put in the sidebar chat, someone else is going to have to put somewhere anyway.
That's the main reason I was using the other chat to post it.
Yeah.
Was because I knew you had that limitation.
Yeah. So, Aaron, do you have the group chat thing that keeps going boing boing?
It went off once earlier, but.
Okay, I'll do it again right now, and once it's up, you can put it in there.
Well, I entered the
I'm posting it in there right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and people mount GoPro cameras. They mount.
Right.
You can mount
Yeah.
anything, really.
Sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
The GoPro camera and a screen mounted on the other side would make a useful way to look at something while you're trying to use the other hand to adjust it.
Huh.
To look around corners and to look into tight spaces in your car when you're working on it.
Uh-huh. So the GoPro would be on the palm side, not the backhand?
Well, he had rails on both sides of the palm and on both sides of the wrist. You could mount the GoPro on the underside of the wrist and a screen on the upper side of the forearm.
Okay.
And
I'm looking at the Picatinny rail. Is that what you use?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah,
Which orientation was it? I mean, was it like the whole rail and a whole bunch of them pointing down, or do you have one of them pointing the other way?
Well, there's two. There's one on each side of the gauntlet.
Try to hold it for a second so we can see it. I'm getting a lot of less resolution. Okay, I see what you're saying there. All right, so on the gauntlet, there's one, and it's going. They're all going down. And then on the hand, it's going down. Okay. All right, and do you have something that pops in there? Okay, let's get the resolution coming in here. Okay, so It just slides on the side. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking to do it the other way. But yeah, that's nice. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I was kind of, I've been building this to kind of debut it and show it off, but I've been trying to put things on there that I know we could use. But yeah.
I mean, hey, good job. And,
Yeah, that's one of the better arrangements for add-ons that I've seen. I guess I should have been looking on Thingiverse for standardized mounting brackets and rails.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a big hit, definitely. I mean, I'm doing it to promote it towards wounded soldiers, and I mean, the Wounded Warrior project is amazing, but there's a very long waiting list.
Right.
So if you have to wait a year or two for a hand, there's no reason you can't, Enable can't help out for that time period.
Yeah, well, can you...
Aaron, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Aaron, if you have some connections with that group or something, or with any kind of veterans organizations, we really would like them to know about us and come sign up and get in our matching system, because we've got so much volunteers.
I spoke with Jen about that, because they're so dismissive. I mean, they get so much money, but that's the whole reason I went out to build this hand, to start spreading, to try to get some attention, basically.
Very good.
And you saw how the Wolverine hand went.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I mean,
viral.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at it.
So hopefully, maybe I'm trying to build something that might open some eyes and then help, a lot of people.
Well, Aaron, like I said, I'm right outside Fort Gordon. I mean, I'm walking distance from the post. So there's the Wounded Warrior programs over there too, and I'm sure I could talk to somebody over there. What would you buy?
Yeah, I would have this done by now, but as soon as basically the call to arms went out about building all the hands to mail out.
Yeah.
That's all I've been doing for the past couple days.
Yeah.
I'm printing one right now, so.
Yeah. Well, that's important. I mean, the conference is going to be over after the 28th, and then we can kind of get back on track with all these other ideas.
Right.
Just a matter of keeping track of the ideas till then.
No, it's a great idea. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So to go like 90 degrees on a tangent, one of the things I've been dragging my feet on that I really need to get back to is getting a plaster cast of my arm. So that I can send it off to John so that he can digitize it so that we can start experimenting mostly like with the myoelectric and other arms. My problem has been that I've been having to do it by myself, and I haven't been able to figure out an easy way to, well, first off, to orient my fingers. My fingers tend to stay curled unless I stretch them. And a container that I can put my arm into to get the casting where I'm not going to be bumping up against the sides of the container, because my arm's not exactly a straight line.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm experimenting with Xbox Connect.
Okay.
For 3D scanning, and I'll let you know if I actually get the darn thing working correctly. But,
I've seen people produce good results with that, but I haven't seen a lot of feedback from it. I'm curious about. I've got a Leap Motion sensor that has similar. It's got like 3 infrared cameras, and I'm curious how hard it would be to get video imagery and construct 3D models using it.
What is it?
Leap Motion.
Oh. LEAP motion. Okay, got it.
LEAP is in Peter, like to
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah. So what is? It's a camera?
It's an array of infrared cameras. There's like 3 of them, I think.
Yeah. What was its intended use at the beginning?
It's virtual reality input.
Oh.
Nice.
Grab hand motion while you're basically. They always compare it to Minority Report when he's reaching out and moving screens around with his hands.
Hey.
This enables that kind of an input.
Wow.
If you can find things to control with it. One of the things that Leap Motion has released recently is a mount so that you can put it on the backside of an Oculus Rift so that it can be used as input for hand control inside VR video games.
Hmm.
And they've got some video of it being used in that way. This is one of the 3D heads-up displays that you can plug.
Have you tried that yet?
Yeah, I haven't tried the Oculus Rift side of it because I don't have Oculus Rift. I have a Galaxy Note 4 or Galaxy Note 3. But the 3D, like Google Cardboard, and this is Durovus Dive, but a Durovus Dive resized to fit the Galaxy Note 3. It's ridiculously amazing virtual reality heads-up display. Even the Cardboard, which is, it's a set of goggles that is made out of cardboard that your phone plugs into.
I looked at it. It looked pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Card thing.
I'm jealous.
It's ridiculously engrossing. You'll get car sick or motion sick when you're moving around in it because it feels so much like you're moving, or it looks so much like you're moving. You turn your head and the view moves with your eyes or with your head. So it's all of that kind of stuff going on. So you can be standing in a virtual room, turn your head, and everything moves with you. Or everything moves accordingly. It's impressive. It feels really high tech for something made out of cardboard with a couple of lenses and some magnets thrown into it.
That even fits along with what we're doing now. Have you followed some of the talk they're using? The Oculus Rift to help people with the phantom limb syndrome.
Right, I've seen some of that.
Yeah,
and I can see that being used with the Leap Motion devices.
Okay.
The Leap Motion is like $60 or $70 on Amazon.
Yeah, it says $79 on the actual Leap Motion website, so that makes sense to be a little bit less somewhere else.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that, Lydia, about the phantom limb syndrome and virtual reality?
No, I have not. It basically just rings a bell. There was a post, wasn't there?
I think there was.
I posted it. Yeah.
Okay. I saw something recently where they were using basically a mirror that was at a bit of an angle, so that you would put your hands in front of the mirror so that you could see the reflection of your hand moving, and that could be used to get rid of the phantom cramping by just relaxing your hand visually. Allowed your mind to imagine that the hand had relaxed.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the screens. You can imagine your hand clenching, and you'll actually see it in real life, or not in real life, but in the new real life. Yeah.
So, are they saying that they want to have people who have phantom limb syndrome just have that kind of thing on all the time, so they can kind of see and do that all the time? Or is that a way to train their brain to stop doing it?
More of a therapy.
Oh.
It's one of those things that doesn't take very long to set in. once your brain has decided that your hand has relaxed, it lets go of it.
Okay.
Sometimes I guess it takes repeating it because, you'll clench your fist again in a dream, and you'll have to convince your brain that it's not actually clenched again.
Yeah.
But it's not, once you've done it a few times, your brain learns how to let go on its own. How to let go of the phantom sensation,
Yeah.
the imagined grip.
Yep, The Brain That Changes Itself.
hmm
That's a book, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's all about brain plasticity and the fact that you can actually train your brain to think differently about things and, create pathways and not go down the old pathways and things like that.
I've had so many hand surgeries that I'm very familiar with the idea of relearning how to use and retraining muscle memory to respond to an entirely different arrangement of hands. This thumb was a useless digit when I was a baby. Until I was about 12, actually. I would take it and tuck it around behind my hand like that, just to get it out of the way, because none of the joints connected. It was just loose, floppy digit, and I would basically tuck it to get it out of the way so that I could use. You'll notice that I do a lot of things I'll pick up with my fingers instead of my thumb, and that's because first 12 years of my life, that's how I picked things up. Now that I've got a thumb, I can grab things in a normal way, and we've had to rebuild my thumb 3 different times in 2 different ways. So it's changed configuration of my thumb. We took a tendon from the ring finger and rerouted it to the thumb because I didn't have the muscles in the palm of the hand to move it. So I had to reteach myself not to jerk my thumb when my ring finger moves. It's like when you try to move your ring finger without your pinky responding, or your middle finger without your ring finger responding, or those kind of things. That's hard for most people to do, partly because the tendons pass down the same tunnels, but partly because your brain sends a signal to both muscles to move at the same time when it has to. Well, I've got a tendon that goes into the ring finger that controls the ring finger, and another tendon that used to control this other knuckle on my ring finger that now controls my thumb. And so I had to learn to control each of those muscles independently of each other. And with my left hand, we've lengthened it 5 inches using an Elizarov's device, where you break the bone, and then every day you take a wrench, or I would take a wrench and crank it out about 1 millimeter a day of growth. You can stretch broken bone like taffy if you don't go too fast.
Wow.
And if you do go too fast, you can back it up, and it will get denser and thicken. So we spent about a year lengthening my left arm, and we added, more than half the length of my left arm is added length. We added about 5 inches to my arm, which is, my arm's only about 9 inches long, 8 inches long.
That's so cool. Wow.
Yeah. Which is part of why the fingers are always curled up. And that's another change, is before I couldn't curl my fingers up because I didn't have enough muscle to pull against, they were going around the corner of how my arm was bent, and they just didn't pull straight, they pulled off to the side. And now I don't have the muscles trained up to extend my fingers like I ought to be able to, or I'd like to be able to. So I can't let go of things real easy with my left hand anymore. But I can carry things forever, and I can forget I've got something in my left hand until I'm looking for it and realize it's there. Because sensation that you've been feeling steady for a while gets ignored by your brain. Your brain blocks signals that it hasn't changed. So I've had to learn to look at my hand again, because sometimes I have things in it that I forgot to put down.
Wow.
But yeah, the whole relearning how to use your hands is something that everyone can do, but it helps a lot if you start learning to do it when you're young, which is a big part of why Enable is so important, is because you get these into the hands of children and as the hands of children, and they start using them when they're young. It creates that ability to, the brain plasticity thing, it makes them more capable of making use of brain plasticity. You adapt easier when you're young, and if you learn how to adapt to a new device enough times when you're young, you learn how to adapt again. And once you know how to change the way you do things with your hands, it's easy to do it again. Every time you make a new change, it's easy to figure out how to make the new change work. And yeah, I mean, that's a big part of why what we're doing in this group with children is so important, is because as the tools become more expensive and more reliable and more long-term as they get older, they'll know how to adjust to fit it because they've been adjusting their entire lives.
Yeah, they start to feel different if they don't have it on, as opposed to if they do.
Well, I mean, I was having that conversation with Raven, which is Bubba's mom, and I guess some people were giving them a hard time. Not many people, very few. About, well, you should, not give them this artificial hand. They should get used to who they are.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what are glasses?
Yeah.
Glasses,
Well,
it's a tool.
yeah, there's a lot of that. I call it hippie nonsense. It's that whole idea that you should avoid taking drugs because it'll affect your brain chemistry and you won't be you anymore, which is a problem, which is why you get into a relationship with your psychotherapist or doctor so that you actually talk about how it's making you feel and if it's improving your state of mind or not. But the whole idea that you shouldn't do something unnatural is ridiculous, because almost everything that keeps us alive in this day and age is unnatural.
Yeah. We're humans. We have the ability to create things to assist us. That's something that's different than with animals.
Well, and I think what you're saying really is we're tool users.
What?
We're tool users. We like tools.
And create too. We create tools and then use them.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, like a bow and arrow. What's that? It's a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kills things so I can eat them.
Yes.
Right. Can you imagine doing farming without tools?
Yeah, no doubt.
Using only your hands? Just think about planting an entire field of corn with just your hands.
Yeah. Or weaving to create clothing.
I mean, let's just be honest, people. The only thing that really sets us apart is our brain, and our brain has allowed us to make tools, and our tools is what make us humans. I mean, that's just, we're tool users. That's what makes us who we are.
Yeah, and always striving for something better, always striving for the next thing. And I mean, it's amazing to see people see these hands and the kids that see these hands and they're like, oh man, I can't have one because I have two hands. I'm glad you don't need one, but I want one too. Yeah.
I mean, I teach soldiers on post here, and a lot of them are pretty young, so they're entertaining to talk to. But they're like, oh, this is the coolest thing, Mr. Peterson. Can I just cut my hand off right now? I'm like, no. No, you can't. I won't give you a hand.
With these Picatinny rails, it might be worthwhile to start building gauntlets and gloves that have them mounted to that, so that we can avoid that question immediately.
Yeah. People. Well, the big problem is scalability. They need to be put on the rail before you scale to size.
Right.
Because if you put it, the Picatinny needs to be a fixed size. So
right. You need to scale it and then attach the rail.
So it has to be super glued on. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I designed them right into the gauntlet in 3D, in CAD design, but I scaled
Right.
the gauntlet and then I fused them together and then exported
Right.
the STL.
It needs to be a
Universal
word?
size. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't change its size when you rescale everything around it. It's like bolt holes have to stay the same size as well.
Exactly.
I think I got a solution to that problem then. It's just little things pop in my head. Because, I mean, you're going to size it, right? And so it's going to be a size. But what you were doing is you were putting it on the gauntlet, but keeping it the same size. But you'd put it in at the end and then merge it, right?
Right.
Not everybody's going to be able to do that. So how do you make a hand that has a thing that's different, and where the layman could go and just print the parts out, right? So I think the answer is you have them pre-scaled, and then you have them where they can just snap onto the gauntlet.
Well,
So
structure is a big thing. Strength. Just super gluing them on there. They do have bolt holes, so you could bolt them. But I wanted it, especially for the one that would hold like a utility knife, I wanted it as strong as possible. So I wanted one complete unit.
And that makes sense, but how do you translate that over to an easier to design form?
A lot like they're doing with the Raptor, how you're able to download at 100, at 105, at 110. So it would be, some footwork in making the models beforehand.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. We'd have to have them pre-sized for whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it sounds
also
like
the idea of distributing it in a CAD format rather than an STL format, like STEP instead of STL, so that they can load it into whatever CAD program they're using and make the adjustments with the rail not changing size.
Yeah, be able to edit it.
Yeah.
Or just make the gauntlet at different sizes. Say this is a 135 gauntlet. This is a 140 gauntlet.
Yeah.
And it's already in there, so it's a little bit more rigid.
So it sounds like what Aaron's saying the workflow is you do the CAD editing. You make it whatever size it's supposed to be, and then you add the piece that is the rail, and then it's all one thing, and then you print it out. Then I guess you make it STL.
Yeah, and it's fairly easy because they're just a small little rail.
Yeah.
So, and I did them I use Tinkercad. I'm not a CAD designer, so you can tell by the funny look of the claws. I don't know anything about it, so it's very easy just to put them where you want them to go.
Yeah.
Which is going to be useful for future models, and I could put them on the older. We're only a year old. It's hard to say that the Cyborg Beast is the older model, but I could put them on the Cyborg Beast. It's just you just want to make sure the rail stays at 100%.
Right. Yeah, that's something you can probably do in Fusion 360 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Little plug for the Fusion 360 thing happening tomorrow at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
I will have to attempt to try to get to that, although I'm probably going to have to do what I've been doing and watch it after the fact, because
that's okay.
I'm generally working until I quit early tonight so that I can do this, but I'm generally working until like 7 or 8. I'm still at work right now. I just have signed out.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the guy who's going to be there with Andreas, he only had from 4 to 5 p.m. tomorrow.
That's understandable. But you guys are doing a Hangout on air, so I can just watch it later.
Exactly. Just like this one is being recorded right now.
Yep.
I know the Mesh Mixer. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, that's on Wednesday at 4 also.
Good. Fun stuff.
Yeah, there's a Fusion 360 tomorrow, and then there's a Mish Mixer on Wednesday, and both of them are at 4 p.m. each day.
And then a Handomatic on Thursday, right?
Wait, what?
I said, and then Handomatic on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That is the one for the European people,
Right.
because of the time difference. But obviously anybody's welcome. It's just that that's why we did it then. And then so we're doing every other week. Like last week was Thursday evening at 7 p.m. and I hosted that one. And then Jeremy hosts the one at 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, the other Thursday morning. So that's for the web app. That's
Right.
web development type stuff.
Yeah. I wonder how hard it would be with OpenSCAD to do all the scaling that has to be done when you do the measurements, and then once those are done, in OpenSCAD, append the rails to the model before you release the STL.
I'm not familiar with OpenSCAD, but it should be very easy.
Laird is an OpenSCAD expert. He would have some idea about that.
Yeah. It might be worth. I might try to get a hold of him and talk to him about it, see what he has to say about it. Yeah, OpenSCAD is cool because it's all programmatical. It's all you can write it with scripts. You can have it do everything you need it to do in the background just by giving it the right arguments so that it just runs like a program. It doesn't require a human to control it, so that makes it a real easy way to rescale and rebuild the models so that you can produce an STL that can be printed to whatever scale you told it to use.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm curious how hard it would be to add a fixed size rail to a variable size hand using just code to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a cool. I mean, I'm glad you guys think it's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's one of the better adjustments. I mean, a standardized connector. I was thinking of ways to attach Molly straps onto a hand.
Oh yeah, I looked at ways. For the military design.
Yeah.
I thought of ways like to actually strap it to the hand, but Velcro is good enough.
Yeah. And so yeah, this is the Picatinny is a standardized rail that we can just make use of. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it looks like people manufacture things to fit that rail already. So
like crazy. Yeah.
You just buy it and it's already ready to attach.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. So we did have one. Sorry, what?
I said that sounds like a match made in heaven there.
Yeah. So we did have another question.
Okay.
And the question is, has anyone looked into incorporating the device, the myoelectric device, into hands? And the answer is yes. That is being looked at and discussed. That would be something to talk to Jeremy Simon and the other people involved in the myoelectric initiative.
Right. Yeah, we have a separate R&D development group that talks about the myoelectric and incorporating the myo into the hands.
Mm-hmm.
And
or just making a myoelectric hand separately too.
Right. We have a entirely separate category in the community just for the myoelectric discussion, just because there's a lot to talk about in that.
Yeah. That's why I've bowed out of any of that, because I'm already way over my head as it is.
So we had the Myo question, and then there's a bunch of questions came in while we've been talking.
Well,
got-
actually, most of those have been answered.
Okay.
It's again, I just clicked on answered questions and a bunch of them popped up because they've already been answered.
Okay.
That was part of what my derp was, is I kept thinking that it was not answered yet, and I'd select it, and then it would pop up, and then it would go down into the answered questions again, and I would go, oh, I need. So it was a bit of a derpy loop on my part.
So there's some that are still in the questions side.
Yeah.
I guess Clint had 3 or 4 questions in a row. One was
Who did?
Clint Leclerc.
Oh, wow. That's weird. I didn't even see these. Okay. Go ahead and read them, I guess.
Yeah, so one of them was, towards the discussion of adaptive tech, is there a growth analysis index so that hands can be modularly adapted in a routine basis with the growth patterns of children? I don't know. I've gotten the impression that that how fast a particular child is going to grow is not completely predictable. That
For each child.
kids grow in different ways and at different times. There are, growth spurt times, but not every kid hits the growth spurt at the same age, or growth spurt as much each growth spurt. So I don't know how much discussion there has been, or how much study there has been into that. Mostly, if we come up with rescalable hands, then that should be able to fix the fix the problem, because you have a hand that works, that can be rescaled to fit when the hand changes, the actual arm changes size, and there's going to be some adjustment as you go, but I think the kids are going to become involved with it as it goes, and that they'll be adding to it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And plastic is cheap, so print it out, see if it fits.
Yep. Yeah, and that's actually what the web app is supposed to be for, is for creating STLs that are to a particular scale. So people measure themselves, or have someone measure them, and they stick the measurements in the web app, and then from there it ends up creating an STL that you can just plug into your program for your printer and print it out.
Yeah, I think I figured out why people were getting large prints on those, and I haven't reinvestigated. But when I was reading the fine print, you have to do all the numbers for both arms, and if you don't, then I think you get large prints.
Well,
Right.
that's some feedback to give to Laird and Roe Ortiz. When you say they're large, do you mean they're large even with all the padding?
No, I meant like the let's say the fingers will be like unusually large.
Compared
Oh,
to the fingers of the other hand.
interesting.
Right. The Hand-O-Matic has measurements for both hands for your affected hand and your less affected hand, to try to match up finger lengths and to try to match up size of the palm and
Yeah.
things like that. To make the hand fit, sometimes the palms will be larger just because it has to be. But the finger lengths can usually be modified.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when I was watching one of the instructional videos, I mean, I've played with the Hand-O-Matic before, and I got to the point where, like, well, this doesn't look right. And then I was watching the video later after I kind of made my own numbers, and I was like, wait, let me rewind that. You have to put the numbers in for both hands, or both arms, left and right, before you put the right numbers out. So if somebody's only going, I only need the right hand, and then only do the right hand numbers, and the left hand numbers are all zeroed out, well, you're going to get big big hands.
One of the things that we were talking about for a while, we've stopped labeling them right and left, I believe, and we're now, I don't remember what the terminology we're using, but we're using something to mean the affected hand and the hand that the mech end is going to attach to, and the other hand that is not affected or less affected.
Well, there's a pro mode and there's a standard mode or whatever. In the standard mode, can you just put a couple random? Oh, I'm sorry.
What layer? Sorry, trouble.
Yeah. I just asked, does it still say left and right on the standard mode?
I haven't looked in a while.
Yeah, it should. I'm the one that hosts those web app meetings. So what I've seen so far is that, yes, we still do left and right. John, I'm wondering what videos you're talking about. We don't actually have a welcome/instructional video made for the web app.
Oh, well, I was looking through some documentation somewhere, and it led me to a YouTube video.
Huh.
I'll have to see if I can find it again.
Yes,
yeah.
please.
Can you share that with us, or share that with me, and I'll share it with everybody else, I guess? That's kind of, yeah, because that's not an official web app instructional video. We don't have one yet.
Well, and that's okay. I mean, I have no clue where I found it at, but
okay.
It might take. I may have to email you later on it.
Oh, yeah, you can just share that with me through the Google profile thing.
Okay.
And if you don't know how to do that, maybe you can stay after the meeting tonight, and I'll show you how to do that.
Right.
Clint's been commenting on our. He says,
yeah,
as a physician, he can tell us that it's completely predictable within ranges. I think talking about growth rates. So there's a ranges of growth for kids that are predictable.
Where are you seeing that?
In the questions and answers, on the question side, not the answered side. Don't seem to pop up in order. They seem to pop up somewhere in the middle. So they don't show up in the order that the questions have been coming up. So I've been reading them out of order, because I'll read one and then something will pop up above or below it. And
oh, yeah, okay, I see it now.
So yeah, he has one that starts with "as a physician."
Okay. Good to know.
He also asked if we're going to the NYC Maker Faire. Yes, some of us are. Nick, I think, is going. I think he said he was going.
Yeah, not anybody that's in this particular hangout, though, right?
Nick Parker, who was in at the beginning of the hangout.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I am doing the one in Atlanta, and I think that's in October.
Okay. Just to throw this out there, there's a guy who posted in our group about doing one in Cincinnati this coming year. So if anybody's watching this or whatever in that area, he probably would like to have some other people to be there with him.
Sounds great. Oh, I found the Universal Picatinny. I put it in the links there on the group chat.
Yeah, I saw that, the Lego one. Were you here? Were you online when I was talking about the Lego hand that I'm doing next?
I think I missed that.
Yeah, that's my next. Once I get back to doing the kids ones, I'm gonna do blue, yellow, red, some of the basic colors, but it's gonna have the Lego bricks on the top of the fingers, just the dots basically, and then on the side of the gauntlet and the side of the palm, to actually let the children build Legos right onto their hand.
I mean, they can be any superhero they want then, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that one. I think that one's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to build too. I did see in the chat, Clint also mentioned. Looks like it's gone now, but basically the perception of Picatinny rails being used on hands will be a big hurdle because they are associated with weapons. They are associated with guns.
Right.
And the wonderful thing that we can do, and I can use this one, as an example, the one that I did on the Palm, I had to modify it. I had to change it. So essentially, it's not even a Picatinny rail anymore. But we can take this idea. We need a male slide and kind of a female slide that can attach. You can attach with a screw in between the rails. We can modify it to any sizes. We can change it, and I don't know if the rail system itself is patented. I don't know how far we can go in just changing the Picatinny rail and then calling it something else.
And that is a really good point when you talk about patents. I mean, with 3D printers, you can make just about anything. But if you make somebody else's design, do you owe them any money, I guess?
Mm-hmm. Luckily, we're not profiting, which is a big thing. That'd be something somebody would sue for if you're selling it.
Right.
It's a fine line.
About that. I don't know. There has been talk. I've heard John talk about that. On one of his conferences where he's talking about potentially making a structure where some of the builders make a profit, or at least enough to keep it going. But and not that I'm looking for profit. I'm just saying that's been discussed. So if it has been discussed, then okay, what are we able to do? If you're not making money, you can pretty much do anything. But if you are making money, then if anything's copyrighted, you may owe somebody a royalty.
Right.
Currently, I believe most of our models are released under a Creative Commons license with no commercial use. So that would affect, I think, like using the Cyborg Beast or a lot of those variants.
Absolutely, but when you put a Picatinny rail on it, is it still the Cyborg Beast? Is it still the same copyright?
Yeah, same with Ninja Turtles. What is that? I don't know if that's Hasbro but yeah. I was wondering if Marvel Comics was going to tell me to take the claws off.
Yeah.
I don't think they want that negative press, but
Yeah, and I suspect that they would consider this to be more like cosplay than selling a competitive product under their trademark.
Well, we say the word trademark, but let's look at it. The Picatinny rail, is that more than 10 years old?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Patents last a lot longer than 10 years.
Yeah. So copyrights. What's the maximum? The absolute maximum for a copyright?
100 years.
The longest copyright right now is Mickey Mouse.
That's a really good point. I thought it was 10 years on like a design like that, but I guess I know they keep going back to the board and come up with a new.
Here's a Mickey Mouse hand.
There you go.
I call it the Mickey Mouse hand.
That's a flexi hand.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It's huge though.
Yeah. Hi, little buddy.
So Clint LeClaire again on the side. When he asked at first about the growth analysis index, so that hands can be modularly adapted on a routine basis on growth patterns of children, and then mentions that a lot of it is completely predictable within ranges. I'm curious how much that is still true with deformities. How much a lot of the kids that we're doing are amniotic hand syndrome, which I know very little about, but I know that my arm did not grow at anything near the growth of my other arm because I was missing one of the major bones that controls the growth. I don't have an ulna. I just have a radius. Or excuse me, other way around. I just have an ulna. I don't have a radius.
Oh, you're a cute one. Do you like
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had to share.
Was that an impression or a phone?
I think it was a foam hand.
No, I meant, did you do an
recording.
impression, or did you use your phone to make that noise?
He posted a YouTube video.
Yeah, posted.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't me. Now I would take surgery to get that high.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know. Quint's questions are interesting to me.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, Quint's questions are interesting to me. We're gonna have to make sure that he gets a copy of the link to our notes when we copy and paste the links into the notes.
Jeez.
Is there any other question and answers here?
No, we've answered most of them. I'm grabbing the links out of the sidebar so that I can paste them into the chat.
Yeah, I had completely forgot about the fact that these are recorded. I wasn't totally ready to show kind of the military version hand that I was building just because it wasn't finished yet. And then, you know, I was gonna definitely, once it was done, I was gonna share the ideas for the Picatinny rail and everything like that. But hey, whatever, sooner the better, I guess.
Cat is out of the bag.
Yeah, if it worked, you know, that's what matters. And it worked very well to show us what you were talking about. So, you know, I didn't notice that it wasn't done. But yeah, I understand being surprised by something and going, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm probably going to drop off. I'm
Yeah, me too.
suddenly realizing it's 8:30 and I probably ought to get home and get some food
Yeah.
before my brother lynches me.
Okay.
Well, been fun. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this has been an interesting discussion. I'm glad you came on, Aaron. I was glad to see the things you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is my first, obviously, this is my first hangout. Now, earlier on, Lydia, I saw you adjusting my volume. Was I too loud or was I too quiet?
Well, it depends on, what I was trying to do is, all of us are kind of at a different level when we first show up, and so I was trying to get it so that everybody was about at the same level.
Okay.
So sometimes you were too quiet, and then sometimes John was too loud, and then I don't know if I was right volume or not, but I was trying to get them all kind of evened out. So you don't have to worry about it. That's something I can do from here.
You know, somewhere there's a blonde-headed girl and there's some bears somewhere. I don't know.
Yes. Yes. I just talked to her.
So trouble was just right.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. There you go.
Yep.
Well, it was nice meeting you guys. I'm going to go ahead and go upstairs, too, so...